Hello everybody, this is Intrepid83 and welcome to Let's Play Raptor Call of the Shadows. Definitely a game from my childhood. I played a ton of the Shareware version of it, which I'm fairly certain a lot of the us younger crowd were only able to get our hands on, because I don't recall ever seeing it in stores, and at that time we did not have services like Steam or GOG.com or anything like that, so yeah, I had to wait until I was either in my late 90s, early 30s before I finally got my hands on the full version of it. It's basically it's a shoot 'em up, top-down shoot 'em up, and it's actually got a story to it. So this is what it says. You can find this story in the help. I think page 4 of the help there. But yeah. Now let's just go into it. I'm going to treat this episode sort of as a I guess you could say an introductory video before we get into the heavy-duty stuff. So basically it's a DOS game. Right now I'm running it in DOS. There are either 2 or 3 different versions of it. On Steam there's the classic 1994 version, which is what I am playing right now, and then there's also a it's called a 2015 edition. There's been a few things added to it, kind of thing, and improved. It does not run on DOSBox, so that's an option as well. I've heard there's a few issues with it, but I can't really say anything further than that because I don't have it. I've just got the classic edition here. Also, it's available on GOG.com as well. I think it's as the 2010 edition. I'm not sure if there's any differences between the 2010 and 2015 editions. They're both, I believe, they were both released by the same people. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, here we go. We got the good old DOS, how to do things and all that kind of stuff. The help pages and F1 key, bring up the help window for that screen, and yeah, page up, page down, all that kind of stuff. Alright, let's read that. This is the story. It says, your engines' turbines roar as you scream out of the sky. Startled troops look up just in time to see your wing cannons blaze. You feel the plane buck slightly as your missiles streak toward their targets. A flash in the distance tells you that they have done their job, and so have you. The Megacorps pay well for those good enough to survive. They call you into the shadows with dreams of wealth, and you answer the only way you know how. So yeah, typical, build up the suspense, build up the anticipation, build up the adrenaline kind of thing. And this game can do that quite a bit too. So alright, so there's the overview. You begin the game in the hangar, yada yada. I'll probably go into that myself. And yeah, there's 4 different difficulties. I'll get into those. It says there's only 3, but there's actually a 4th one. Like I said, we'll get into that. And then there's also like bonuses and upgrades, and yeah, you get paid based on the amount of destruction you do to the enemy. So yeah, yeah. And then there's those ones as well. They're $50 a piece. Some ships drop them. And then there's the UI, there's the money, it's at the top of the screen. We'll see that. Shield status, we'll see that. Special weapons, yada yada. There's the keys, the default keys for the weapon selection, if you will. That's not all of them, those are just all of the selectable ones. There's some of them that are always equipped kind of thing, so yeah. But, as I said, we'll get into this stuff. And then there's the mouse. As far as the DOSBox, I actually had to modify a file. I think it's just the setup file for the game, or either for DOSBox. I'll post a link in the video description as to where you can see the forum thread where I found out how you can enable the mouse properly. So yeah, so you can use it, because unless you're left-handed, this is definitely using the if you use just the keyboard, you'll be using the WASD, the WASD for the movement, and then you've got the weapon keys right above that. So it's I found it to be kind of awkward trying to use it like that, and then using my right hand to reach over and try and change the weapons in time kind of thing. It just felt awkward. So then I tried to figure out how to get the mouse button to work, and I was hoping it would allow me to use both kind of thing, and it does. So yeah. Got my fingers on the WASD. No, I'm not using the WASD, so I'm using the mouse for the movement, and then I'll just have my left hand to use the select the weapons and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can also use joysticks as well. I haven't tried that, nor the Thruster Master, nor game pads or anything like that. I'd figure you could probably use an Xbox 360 controller if you're familiar with how to enable it in DOSBox. I don't think I've ever tried to do it, but I'm sure there's some forum threads out there that with people that have figured it out and can help you out with that. So yeah, and there's the basic controls for the keyboard. Control fires normal guns. Alt cycles through the weapons that you have. A spacebar releases a mega bomb. We'll find out what those are. And then, oh, okay, so. Okay, I guess I was wrong. So it's the arrow keys that you use the movement for. So yeah, I guess if you're left-handed, that's probably gonna be your go-to. Because for some reason, unless I'm using the mouse, I like to have my. I'm right-handed, so I like to use the mouse to move. But if I can't use the mouse, I want to use the WASD, which is my left hand. So it's kind of odd like that. But anyways, yeah, watching the shield levels. Yeah, this is probably one of the most important ones. It says, watch your shield level carefully. Once you get the shield low warning message, you will lose a special weapon with each hit. So in other words, let's put it this way. If you get into shield low and you start losing weapons, you may as well just kamikaze, because the amount of money that these upgrades cost that you'll be losing, you're better off just restarting the mission. Or else you'll be severely gimped as you progress, kind of thing. So yeah, that's just a suggestion for me. If you choose not to, I would love to see how you handle it, because honestly, in no way do I claim to be an expert at this game, but I do my best, and I have fun with it. So yeah, I have fun with this game. And then might as well go through all the helpful hints. If possible, buy the phase shield. It gives you an extra edge that will more than likely get you out of some nasty situation. Phase shields are basically just an extra layer of health. You'll see when we come up to the missions that there'll be a black bar on the right side, and that's where your health is, with a black bar with a bunch of notches in it, I guess you could say, or Jimmy Jams if you want to call them that. And then on the left side you'll have another black bar, and that's where the phase shield goes. You can have up to 5 layers of the phase shield, and yeah, so as one goes down and depletes, then it'll go into the next one, and so on and so forth until you're out of it, and hopefully that'll never happen to you. The thing with the phase shields, though, they cost a lot of money at the beginning. Eventually we should be able to get enough money where we can just basically max them out and not have to worry about it too much. We'll have more money than we know what to do with, kind of thing, but we need to get to that point in order to do so, and it's a bit of a journey to get there, or a bit of a struggle to get there. So yeah, phase shields, keep that in mind. We'll see where we can get those later. Health is continued. 3. Do not run into other ships. You will take a lot of damage from the collision. Correct. Basically, if you can obviously try to avoid the enemy fire, but also try to avoid running into enemy ships, kind of thing. And that can be kind of irritating, because some of them fly very quickly, and some of them look like they just seem like they just want to run into you, kind of thing. And it gets irritating, but they aren't the most irritating enemies in my estimation. There's one set of enemies that is just, they're the bane of my existence. I have not figured out how to possibly get around them without at least getting hit once with their shots. So yeah, and there's 2 different variations of them, and I don't know if there's any visual tells as to the difference, but the thing is, they move pretty quickly, so you don't have much time to decipher which one it is. So it's like, yeah, basically I'll probably be getting hit plenty by them. But anyways, alright, and try to leave moving ground targets. So yeah, there's going to be some ground targets that we'll have to deal with as well. So yeah, basically what that all leading means is that we're going to have gunfire, and as we hold down the fire, keep firing, and then move across the field, then it'll leave like a trail of gunfire, kind of thing. And as long as you stay ahead of the ground vehicle's firing the ground vehicle's gun, then you can basically avoid getting hit by it, but destroying it at the same time, kind of thing. Alright. It also says, remember, even though all your weapons have unlimited ammo, that's definitely a plus there. We have unlimited ammo, so basically you can recharge your shields by not firing. I've tried this. It takes a long time to recharge 1 hit point, kind of thing. So 10 minutes here. Yeah, maybe I'll go into I'll give you a taste of what it's like. I'll go into the easiest setting kind of thing just to show you what to expect kind of thing. And it says this is only true in all difficulty levels except for Elite. And the progression of this game is really cool how they do it. So yeah, and watch out for the battle cow. Okay, I don't think I've ever actually read that one. And then create new play. I will go into that. And then you can load or delete pilots. Load or, the hangar. We'll get into that. Yeah, there's 3 different sectors of the game. Autopilot just starts you at the beginning, and then you just basically fly through all 3 of them in order, kind of thing. So yeah, and then red button returns to the hangar screen. We'll see that, and just tap you to scroll through the choices. Here's the supply room UI. We'll get into that. Alrighty, and then the usual stuff. Order Raptor now, only $34.95. Yeah. Even though it's so difficult for me to, how does it say? Yeah, even though it was so difficult to find this like as a full version back when I was young, some people did have it. That's all. It was just really hard to find. That's all. Why Order Raptor? Think you're done yet? Not even close. The Megacorps have a lot more dirty work for you in the missions ahead. You'll fly against dozens of new ships, fight bigger, tougher bosses, and add deadlier weapons to your ship's bristling arsenal. And actually, there is actually a limit to how much you can actually equip on your fighters. So, see more extraordinary cinematic sequences, immerse yourself within the captivating additions to the soundtrack and the stunning, ultra-realistic visuals. And yeah, then that goes into the different weapons here. We'll see those, but anyways. Wow, there's how many pages of this? America Online. That's when you know it's definitely a DOS game. I think America Online officially... I can't remember if it's officially discontinued or not, but it was just recently that I think if they did shut down, it was recent. So, alright, and there we go. Back to the beginning. Alright, game options, it's pretty simple. You got the low detail, high detail, you got music and sound effects volume there, kind of thing. This game can get loud, so that's why everything's turned down quite a bit. The music seems to be rather mellow, so that's why I've got it up a bit higher, and you can hear the music right now, so yeah. Just the sound effects can quite easily overpower my voice, so hopefully that's... I did some pre-testing with the audio set levels, so we should be alright. And down on the bottom right here, you can see F1 help. That's what I use to bring up the help, and then D just goes into a computer-controlled demo kind of thing, so yeah. I was about to think, well, maybe I should just do that, but it's like, no, I want to show you what the... what it's like to try and regenerate your health without firing. So yeah, basically, let's go to a new mission. Alright, so, got your name, got a call sign. Well, let's just do Intrepid 83 for the name, and call sign Intrepid. There we go. And as you can see, he's control to change the ID picture over here. So, or we can just click it if you like. Well, I'll just probably hit control just to get used to it. A redhead there, we got a... trying to remember, this guy the picture kind of reminds me of someone, but yeah. I think the closest thing one that closest looks to me is this one, the beard and a little bit of gray in the hair, but I'm definitely a redhead, but yeah, we'll go with that. Enter, and here's the 4 different difficulties. Training mode, it basically just takes you through the first 4 missions of the game to give you, just to with minimal enemies, just to give you a taste of what it's like to play the game, and just to show you the ropes kind of thing. So let's go into the training mode for now. Yeah, 4 of 9 levels. Yeah, and then it takes us directly to here. So then we've got we started off with $10,000 or 10,000 credits, if you will. And you got energy modules. The maximum you can have is 100. So you might think, well, we got 10,000, we can bump it right up. Actually, I'm gonna pass on that for now. I'm actually gonna buy the ion scanner for 10,000. Why? Because it says the scanner will search the surrounding area for engine emissions from larger craft. Once detected, it will lock on, and a damage indicator for that ship will appear. Basically, it scans the area for bosses, and as the bosses appear, then you'll get a health bar at the bottom of the screen to let you know how much health they have and how much health they have left. Not number form, but still, depending on how quickly it goes down, then you can get an idea of when it's gonna go down, kind of thing. So let's buy that. And then here's the hangar. I believe if you just go into the normal modes, like the easy, novice, and then elite kind of thing, it'll just take you right here, and then you go in supply room yourself. Harold's Death Emporium. Welcome to the one and only automated one-stop shop. All purchases will be loaded and installed free of charge. Whoops. Aww. There's actually a time limit on that. So yeah, just got the energy modules. That's your basic health. Ion scanner. I already explained that. Mega bombs. We'll be getting those. That's actually, it's a good idea just to collect them for the beginning so that you always have 5 of them, and if you find another one, you can drop one kind of thing. So yeah, basically it's everything on screen, it goes off, and whatever doesn't have enough health to survive, it kills kind of thing. So yeah, it does a lot. It can do a lot of damage depending on where you drop it. Air-to-air missiles, for dogfights. The AIM-31 Maulers. Then there's the phase shields. Yeah, so the phase shields, 78,500 credits or bucks each. I'm probably just going to say credits because it rolls off the tongue a bit better. And then the SA-17 Ares shield. And yeah, so definitely 78,500 versus 10,000 for the health. Yeah, we'll eventually start getting enough money so that we can actually start buying some of these without having to worry too much about money. But the game actually gives us a few later on. So, but by the end of the game, I would probably recommend that you have 5 of these kind of things. So yeah, maximum plasma cannon. The muzzle of Dearborn Industries Firestorm is one of the most feared additions to any pilot's arsenal. Its only disability is that it was not designed for a ground target acquisition. As fun as this may sound, it's actually probably one of the weakest weapons in this entire thing, even though it's 78,800 credits. Pardon me. I'll probably end up buying it, but not until later, when I've got more money than I can do. Once I've taken care of my priorities, if you will, as far as the weapons go. Bombs, these are probably even... I wouldn't say they're useless, but they fly slow and they only hit their ground targets, and they're basically like a much weaker version of the mega bombs. So yeah, the only difference is I don't know, just gotta wait for it to hit something kind of thing. But I'll have I'll have more effective ways of dealing with ground targets than the MK-133 bombs. So yeah. Next up is the air-ground missiles. These are the ones I'll probably be using most of my destruction on the ground kind of thing. AGM-26L Banshee. Yeah, probably going to be one of the most useful weapons, one of the most useful weapons in the game for a while. So the dumbfire missiles, basically, they do about the same amount of damage as the air-to-air missiles, but they, instead of firing straight ahead, they go out to the sides and then they go forward kind of thing. So you've got a bit of a, you can stay out of the, like, say if you're fighting a stationary boss kind of thing, you can just sit off to the side and just start firing these things, staying out of the way of the boss's fire, and then you can just basically hit them like that kind of thing. But I might use them for the sake of demonstrating them, but they are not on the they are not at the top of my list kind of thing. Micro missiles, these are one of the ones that are always equipped, so as soon as you buy it, it just tacks on right with your regular gunfire, and you don't have to worry about switching them out. Pardon me. Size and weight may not make them extremely effective versus either ground or air targets, but they make up for this with their fast firing rate. Yeah, so definitely still very much worth buying at some point. It will not be my first purchase, though, as far as weaponry. Is a missile pod, basically like the air-to-air missiles, but it fires twice as fast. So the AARL 1201 Scatter Pack fires a cluster of HR-20 spike missiles, making a great weapon for aerial skirmishes. Yeah, and then this will probably be my very first weapon upgrade that I buy. So yeah, I'm gonna be saving up for a few missions before I get it. But yeah, the auto-track minigun. This TH-19 Thor fires 45mm DPU rounds at 4,000 rounds per second. This, combined with an auto-targeting system that acquires ground and air targets, makes this one of the best weapons available. Oh yeah. Yeah, almost over 250,000 credits. So, yeah, the Power Disruptor. This one just basically makes it so that some targets, yeah, it shuts down their weapon system so that they can't fire kind of thing. So it's definitely more of a countermeasure, if you will, or to use RPG terms, a debuff kind of thing. But I tried to see if it worked on a few bosses to see if that would help, but I don't think it does. So yeah, it doesn't work on everything. Let's put it that way. So There's a laser turret. This will probably be my second. This is the goal for my second weapon upgrade, the laser turret. Kind of like the auto-targeting minigun, except that the fire is instantaneous. As soon as it locks onto the target, it fires, kind of thing. The problem is it's not focused, just like the minigun, but it does all of its damage in one shot, kind of thing, and it's really quick. So yeah, OD-55 Odin laser turret. Yeah, similar to the Thor. Faster response time, yeah, increased firepower. And as far as the minigun goes, it does not double like your regular gun. Hang on, let's see. Yeah, the Reaver guns. It doesn't double the damage that these things do, but it does do quite a bit more. It almost, I'd say it probably does about increases your damage output by like 2/3 or something like that. So yeah, it's still definitely a very valuable addition. Not to mention it sweeps the entire field, kind of thing. So yeah. Alright, pulse cannon. Probably one of the, if I get anything extra as far as weapons go, I'll probably get this one because it's quick firing. It does a lot of damage very quickly, kind of thing. It's just when I can finally afford it, I generally prefer to use what I call the boss killer, which we haven't gotten to yet. It's not called the boss killer, but that's what I call it. But yeah, but it is quite powerful. So yeah, the RX-1 Tsunami, yeah. Plus the shots look really cool as well, and it's kind of like you can lead with it as well, like the guns on the ground targets and all that stuff, and it does hit ground and air targets as well. So. But again, usually I just like to rely on the air-to-ground missiles for ground targets for the most part, and then the Death Ray. I think this is, yeah, okay, so this is basically a single laser comes out the front of your ship, and it does a lot of damage. The MSIL Atlas. Part of a little stream. It's a part of a little stream at incredible speeds. It's awesome. Firepower is usually enough to destroy most targets in one shot, yeah. And then less than double the price later, almost double the price later. Yeah, the twin laser. This is the ultimate goal to get this thing. It is the most powerful weapon in the game. This is what I call the boss killer. The Cal-10 Eclipse is the most powerful weapon available. Its twin beams of azure fire will incinerate anything in their path. The first and last thing every pilot needs. Yeah, the only problem is this one, again, like the Death Ray, is instantaneous fire. So it only fires straight ahead. You can't lead with it or anything like that. But that's the thing. If you hit anything at the top of the screen, it's gonna essentially blow it up before it can even fire anything. But it's having the ability to, with the laser turret or the minigun. I usually like to rely on those more so for dealing with the regular enemies than the twin laser. But eventually, using the twin laser will become definitely a welcome addition to the family, so to speak. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the weapons, and yeah, you can sell things as well. We will be picking some up, and yeah, so that's that. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a longer episode, but yeah, it's the first episode of the series, so why not? All right, and to finally just show you exactly what to expect, let's just go to autopilot here, and you can get a feel. So left mouse button to start firing. Don't have any sound effects, hopefully that no. So yeah, basically just to shoot them up. Avoid the fire, avoid the ships. Try to destroy as much as you can, as many as you can. And you do get paid based on how many enemies you destroy, kind of thing. So basically, each one of those yellow beads, if you want to call them that, are worth do about 1 hit point of damage, but there are other ones that we'll get into we'll come across later where they actually do 10 damage. So yeah, they do look a bit different. And then here, this is why I don't buy the energy capsule first. Just buy the ion cannon, because you get the extra 25 health from just the first mission. And yeah, you can destroy ground targets. Not all ground targets give you money. Depending on the size, will determine how much you get, kind of thing. Ew. Something like this, you get a lot of money for. So expecting, there's our first weapon upgrade, the air-to-air missiles. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to show you how long it takes to regenerate a health. There goes one. There goes two. Uh-oh, okay. And there we go, we're back up to full. So yeah, that's how long it takes to regenerate one health kind of thing. So, in my case, that was 3 health, but still, you saw how long it takes, and the amount of time you're waiting there, you might as well just be trying to shoot the enemies in front of you and trying to make up the money, because just think of it this way. Each one of those energy capsules is 10,000 credits. I'd say, a good estimation, you'd probably have to kill about anywhere from 20 to 25 enemies to get the 10,000 credits. Depending on what you kill, obviously. So it's just... Well, like I said, a lot of missions do have, I'm not going to say most because I'm not entirely sure how accurate that is, but a lot of missions do have those energy capsules in them that you can pick up along the way, so yeah. Some of them don't, and I'll do my best to clue you in as to when that happens. I'll probably just get to the end of this level and then we'll call it a video. So yeah, this is probably the amount of enemies we're facing here, I believe, is about the equivalent of the novice level, or the beginner difficulty. So... He's usually just getting about right here is usually good enough to be able to have them fly into your fire and not have to move at all. And here's the boss. Basically just avoid the fire, lead the guns, and we're good to go. The bosses do get a lot more health the higher the difficulty is as well, so... Alright, and with that, we've got 48,275 credits. The thing with the training mode, though, is that it is straight up just the first 4 levels, and then it ends it kind of thing, and you don't, you don't get to keep any of the upgrades, you don't get to keep any of the money that you've earned during the training mode. It's literally just a training mode, just a practice ground kind of thing, so yeah. In any case, I believe that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we'll go into the new mission, and we'll start off on our trek through Raptor, Call of the Shadows. This is Intrepid83 signing off. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.